Well, howdy modelers. Hey, I wanted to show you guys, my followers that follow Allen's Trains and Things. Uh, that's, that's, Big Boy. I'm not seeing me kick my leg out here. That's Big Boy 4018, that's Big Boy 4018 building up the pressure there. Well, I'll give her kind of a hoot and holler here. Give you guys a little whistle here. Now, on my track, because of running steam, I don't have any no ox idea special or any inox on there at all because of the rubber tires. That cannot be on there when you're running a steam engine with rubber tires. My inner route, I do have inox on it, but this is what I wanted to show you that I got done. Some time ago, probably at the end of, I want to say at the end of 2019 or close to the end of 2019, maybe September, October, I think it was. I got that Miller Engineering. This was my first sign, my Miller Engineering Southern Pacific lines, and I got that, and I was just kind of trying to figure out what I was going to put it on, and so I thought, let's put it on a water tire. You know, kind of the sign may look like it's a little over big for the water tower or whatever and that, but I mean, I think it looks good. We can zoom this in if this phone will let me zoom in. You can kind of see some of my work that I done here to get it in place. Sorry for the finger. I drilled a hole next to my Kato Unitrack. If you look, you might see my fingers back there. If you look back behind where the tower plate's at, I drilled a hole, or 3 holes, and then kind of widened it out big enough to get that that big plug through the hole. And then I put some double-sided adhesive from 3M to hold the tower in place. We refixed the struts or the guide wires to help hold the tower in place. Some of them had broke off. They were metal, but they were not, all they were doing was just laying on the plastic. If they would have drilled holes on the tower, if they would have, and let me put my hand back here because I think that's going to help. There you go. It has to have a background. That's why it makes things zoom in, or when you're close to zoom or whatever that, it seems to bring it in a little bit better. But if they would have drilled holes in the plastic and had the little pieces of wire with, bent ends on it, I think it would have stayed. I think it would have stayed on there a lot more better than what it did. But we done that, and then we took 3 Southern Pacific Abusas, one being the old cupola, one being the my old 2020 or 1235 bay window, and then there's a transfer caboose. But here's what I wanted to show you guys that I got done. We had the EB1 wired in the other day. Let's move this out of the way. We had the EB1 wired in, and I'd called Ed and I said, hey Ed, because I just got the EB1 in, can I hook up the CP6 and run my siding tracks and stuff like that? And he said, oh yeah. He said, put your EB1 or leave your EB1 on 1.2 or do not go any higher than 2.1, you know, with your power cab. And he said, yeah, until you get some more EB1s, until you get some more EB1s, you can do just exactly like I done there. I brought the power in. As you can see right in here, to the block. From there, the block is going to the EB1, and then I've got my little plates here that runs power to the CP6 and out to the other siding tracks. The EB1 though, you know, it's got, you know, circuit breaker protection in it. Where the CP6, until I can get me a couple more EB1s, they'll just light up. But I do have an EB1 in there. I am going to get me some more EB1s probably here in the next, probably 4 or 5 days, maybe a week. And so we're going to put, excuse me for the burp, and we're going to put about, well, we'll have 3 on here to cover the main and the 2 siding tracks, and then we're going to get probably about 2 or 3 and put, you know, eventually put in with the down there with my trying to get this out here, trying to show you one thing and then trying to show you another with my SB5, I meant to say. Yeah, with my SB5. I do have an EB1, as you can see there, hooked to it, and we're going to add more EB1s to that to where we can cover our siding tracks. We might be cutting down parking tracks that I have. I may when I extend my layout, I may drop my yard, my yard that's away from me. I may drop it down to 3 tracks, and then have the 2 or 3 where my cabooses are at. And with the one that's running, with the EB1 that's running the main, I would have 3 running the parking tracks, or, you know, keep an eye over the parking tracks, or my yard tracks, I guess you could call it, on both of my yard tracks. And so, or maybe I could, you know, you almost need an EB1 for each one that you're doing. That way, if something happens or whatever, and that EB1 is going to shut down just that section, or it's going to shut down that deal, and then you need to have your insulated rail joiners in there, which I'm going to probably put in there as well. But right now, this is what I want to show you guys. We got her hooked up. I mean, we got her fully hooked up. Hopefully we got a little time here. We can back up. We'll back up. I'll back up real quick. Back her up a little bit. Move her forward. And on that, please like and give me a big thumbs up. Tell me what you think, and we hope you like watching this video, and keep watching, and we'll let's go to maybe a little bit more into another one. Okay, we're gonna add a little bit more to this. That way I can say what I was wanting to say here. Let's drop the bell, and we'll move 4018 up a little closer to 9088. And sometimes you just run out of video. But to me, this engine sounds so much, I mean, you can tell the difference having that EB1 in there. And so now we got her where we want her to go. And we're almost right up there, just slightly behind 9088. And so I've already ran the engine, and we can show video later on. I've already ran the engine down the main little bit, flipped the switch, flipped the turnout, and then brought her onto the inner yard track here, and she did excellent. I mean, no problem whatsoever going through that number 4 turnout. I mean, a big boy going through a number 4 turnout that an 844 from Cotto can't hardly master. And that big boy is going through it or whatever. It's longer. It's pulling a heavier tender, and it goes through there like it has no problem at all. I guess, like I said, Athearn's just knows their steam engines maybe a little bit better than what Cotto does. And I'm not putting Cotto under the bus, because I love Cotto's diesel engines, and, you know, there are other things. But I think one thing that they could use a little bit of help on, is their building their steam engines. And I kind of wished Athearn would come out with an 844, and I wish they'd bring, just for us guys that, and maybe all of you that like the 3985, I wish they'd bring back the 3985. You know, they bring back the Challenger. I mean, they did make them there for a while, but it would be neat to see 4014. You know, the real thing ain't probably going to happen, because, you know, I'd say 3985 is probably retired. And so it would be neat if Athearn would bring back 3985, you know, the Challenger. And then us guys that, you know, want to do this here. And hang on just a second. Okay, I had to kind of reset the camera, so I apologize for that. It'll be in 3 sections or whatever and that, but this thing didn't want to focus, so we kind of had to give her a love smack or love tap, because it just didn't want to focus. So we had to kind of have to give it sometimes a good jolt or whatever and that on these Note 9s or whatever and that, to get the camera to reset like they're supposed to. But anyway, I wished, as I was mentioning on the video before I stopped the video, I wish they'd bring the 3985 back, the Challenger, to where you could run a Challenger and a big boy together. You know, if you want a double head, I mean, you could take a 4014 and a 4018 or a 4023 or a 4005, or, you know, one of those ones like that, and do it that way. But 3985, if they have the oil, you know, if they've got the oil tender version, you know, if they made that one there, the oil tender version, and with the 4014 having an oil tender or whatever, that you know, you probably want both engines. You know, you wouldn't want one that's got a steam tender. I mean, you wouldn't want one that's got a coal tender and one that's got an oil tender. You know, like this one here, I would want to run 4018 and 405 or 423 or something like that, because it's got a coal tender. I would want to run two big boys. It's got the, you know, the coal. And whereas with 3985, you could run it with 4014, and them both having oil tenders look pretty sharp. So I kind of wished Athearn would bring back the 3985, and then I wish they'd also come out with an 844, and kind of make that Golden Spike 150th special deal a little bit more special, with their own 844 or whatever that you could run behind 4014. So with that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please, like I say, as I said a little earlier, before I kind of had to my videos kind of ended, I didn't have a whole bunch of videos, so I kind of had to I'm gonna have to splice this together a little bit, which is no problem. This is mainly what I wanted to show you guys. I wanted to show you my EB1 and my CP6, you know, working in tandem to power the rails and everything, and so hope you like it. Give me a thumbs up, ring the bell, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. If you are, thank you, and we'll catch you later. Alan Strange and Things. We'll see you.